One thing to note is that many dishes in West Africa actually originate with specific ethnic groups. The dish being discussed today is called Fura or Fula, and it is known to have originated with one of the largest ethnic groups in West Africa called the Fulani. In this episode, I spent some time with a Fulani woman who sells Fura for a living to learn how she makes it. Come with me so I can show you what I learned. Fura is a popular dish in many parts of West Africa, and in Benin, it is more popular in the northern region. Meet Oumou. She lives in Kandi in northern Benin with her 2 daughters. She is originally from Niger. Her husband, also Fulani, is from Mali, where he currently resides. She sells fura at the market of Kandi every single day to provide food on the table for her little family. Fura is made mainly with millet, but like Oumou, one can decide to mix the millet with just a bit of corn. She also said that fura can be made using other cereal grains like sorghum. Her day typically starts very early, usually around 4 a.m. To make it easy to follow, I divided her fura making process into 6 parts. Part 1 consists of cleaning the grains. In this step, Oumou cleans both the millet and corn grains. After washing them, she sets the grains aside to drain. If you are interested in seeing what the full cleaning process of the millet looks like and how she removes the dirt and stones from the grains, please watch my previous video. I will leave the link down below, but also at the end of the video. After the millet grains are cleaned, she splits them into 2 parts. A small part, which she pounds by hand, and a bigger part, which she takes to the mechanized mill of her neighborhood for milling. The second step consists of pounding the smaller portion of the millet and preparing the millet starter. There are 2 main reasons for using a mortar in this step. Number 1, it gives Oumou a head start as the mill doesn't open until after 6 a.m. 2, using a mortar allows her to control how coarse or fine she wants the millet powder to be. In this step, she wants it not too fine, not too coarse. After pounding, she sifts the flour. This allows for the fine flour to go through the sifter, while the outer layer and the coarser grains remain in the strainer. She uses the latter to prepare a millet starter. To make the starter, she rinses the millet many times to obtain something that looks like millet milk. She then lets the milk settle into millet starch, which is what I call millet starter. Finally, in this step, the coarse grains are mixed into the fine flour to add a bit of texture to the fura. The third part of the fura making process consists of milling the corn grains and the rest of the millet grains together using a mechanized mill. Oumou explained to me that she learned to make fura from her mother. And back in the days, the entire process was done by hand using a mortar. Today, with mechanized mills, the process is much quicker. She runs the combo corn and millet into the machine that processes it into flour. She can control how fine or coarse she wants it here. The machine basically does the job for her. After milling, Oumou returns home. Next, in this process, she sifts the flour to get rid of the outer layer of the grains. She repeats the sifting process until all of the flour is used up.
Duru duru. Duru.
Meanwhile, she has clean water on the stove that she is bringing to a boil. The fourth step consists of combining the different mixtures obtained from the previous parts together and boiling. In this step, she separates the flour into two very large bowls. First, she adds the hot water, and then she adds the millet starter from step 2. Then they begin mixing everything until obtaining a dough. But honestly, I'd say it looks more like clay at this step. After mixing, she forms big balls using the resulting mix and add those balls into the boiling water. She repeats the process until all the dough is used up. Notice that she makes holes into the balls to allow for the inside to cook well. It takes about 45 minutes for the dough balls to cook thoroughly. After boiling, the cooked balls are placed into a mortar and pounded to mix everything together again really well. This step is really satisfying to watch, but it takes so much time and energy. I offered to help, but I gave up after 30 seconds. And honestly, if I hadn't given up, I feel like she would have taken the pestle back anyway because I was slowing her down. Note that the mixture has to stay pretty warm to allow for easy pounding. Once it cools down, it hardens and makes it even harder to work with. Because of that, she adds hot water every once in a while. After everything is pounded, she takes the resulting mixture inside to keep it as warm as possible. The final step consists of kneading and rolling the fura into little balls. She cuts them into sizes that they will be sold in. Another very satisfying step to watch in my opinion, but it is an art. And that is how Oumou makes her fura. Now the question you might ask yourself, how is fura eaten? Well, to find out, come back next week for my next episode where I will take you through the city of Kandi to show you some of the street foods that I tried during my stay. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.